What I'm curious about is, when did it get out of your control, if you will?
You know, again, like...
When was the last time you had used gear?
If you were using steroids, but you were saying that you got this amazing chiseled physique from just eating liver, and you went on all these podcasts and you made some of my friends eat liver, I think it's only fair that we devour some domesticated foods. Don't you think that's fair?
No f***ing way.
But this body wasn't built by only liver.
You got men putting balls in their mouth
It's
and
not
you
very
won't eat a
ancestral.
motherfucking cupcake?
Well, look what we had.
Wait, what are you doing right now?
Just hold it. You don't even have to f it or nothing.
You know
Just
what?
tight it.
I wanted one bite.
Donut, 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 donut. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Flagrant. And today we are joined by a guest who is the victim of a massive conspiracy to discredit the hard work and sacrifice that he has gone through, and it's absolutely disgusting. We're clearing the air right now. Today, we are sitting with Brian Johnson, the Liver King.
Liver,
Liver King, why are you letting them do this to you, bro? We know you're natty, bro.
Yes.
We don't believe
know
the
you're
lies.
natty,
You're
bro.
natty.
This is bullshit the way they're attacking you. They're attacking the masculine male.
The media,
It's a
bro.
They
hate
don't
crime.
want men to be men anymore,
It's a hate
bro.
crime.
It is a hate crime.
It's a hate crime.
It's a
You're
hate
being
crime what they do.
slandered and
You're
libeled.
fucking natural,
Hey,
bro.
Bring out all the hate. You know, I can't believe...
Well, hey, we're supporting you, bro.
Yeah.
We know you're natty, dude. I smelled that shit when you walked in. Let me tell you something. You can't say you're not primal, bro.
I appreciate that.
Did you smell that primal?
That's prime, bro.
I smell all the ancestors.
I love it. I love it all.
I didn't think it was possible to smell worse than Mark, but he did that.
Come on, dude.
Listen, Mark, you get a pass today.
Yeah.
This is my final form. I'm telling you. This is a Pokemon before and later, you know what I mean?
Listen, Liver King, I mean this sincerely. Why are we allowing them to discredit you?
You know, the first thing I really want to say is thank you guys. You know, I really appreciate you guys.
Good
having
media
me on.
pivot. This guy's good. This guy's
That
fucking
softened
sharp.
me right there.
This guy's sharp.
Well, this is a big deal to me. You know, when I get on a podcast, like normally I'm so fucking excited, you know, because I get to spread the ancestral message. I know that's not why I'm here today, right? I mean, I know that I'm here today because out of all the stupid shit that I've done in my life, I probably have done the stupidest fucking thing,
Which is?
which is I lied.
What? That's heartbreaking news.
Which is I lied.
Not
you know,
you, bro.
and however the fuck these emails, you know, got leaked, this was a catalyst to me facing my reality, right? And so I do want to make this fucking clear as day. Like, I know why I'm on today. You know, I'm on today because
What did you lie about?
I lied about being on steroids.
Hold on.
I don't believe it.
So you lied in the,
believe it.
I believe
the
it.
email to Derek.
believe
He's saying the email to Derek where he said he's on steroids, he's lying.
Oh, okay. That
That-
email was
that-
a lie. You were trying to set up
Yes.
more places
Yes.
for dates.
Come on, bro.
Because that was clearly a setup.
Trying to
It's
make
not
him
like-
feel good. He was trying to make him feel better.
Sending the email to the guy that outs the guy that used steroids.
Yeah.
That's clearly you playing
clearly
4D chess.
You know,
Photoshop.
you know what? So many people have said this is 4D chess. I wish I could take credit for this
Come
big
on!
You're natural.
You're natural, dude.
Come on, bro.
crestfallen. I
This
might
is
cry
bullshit.
about this.
This is 45 years old, 2% body fat. Why is that not natural? Tell me why that's not natural. Okay, I'm 39%. I'm 39% body fat. I'm 39 years old. I'm matching my body fat with every year I have on
I'm
this
2
planet.
to 1. I'm 76 out there.
This guy's all fat. This is awful. He looks like a shit emoji.
He looks like liver.
He looks like this is Liver King for
Yeah,
real.
dude.
Or Liver Sultan. What are you guys? what are they?
Yeah, Czar. You got czars.
Yeah, what do you guys have?
Servants to the British or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Liver servant.
Liver Taiwan. Listen, in all seriousness, you're telling me right now that we're supposed to believe that you actually use steroids.
This is the truth.
I might cry, dude. It hurts my feelings, man. Fuck, man.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You know, again, like when I'm saying thank you for having me on, I mean, I know this is why I'm here. You know, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. You know, the fact is, you know, this was a catalyst to me facing my reality. The reality is what I did was wrong. I lied about it. That's what I'm fucking apologizing for. And so I hope we talk all about it. You know, I hope that we get to talk about the 9 ancestral tenets a little bit, about not wearing deodorant like we're not doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, for you guys to have me on today again, I'm really grateful. Thank you for that.
All right, well, we're going to take you at your word. I didn't want to believe it. I want
still kinda
to
don't.
call out the haters, but we're going to take you a tour that maybe you have used steroids in your life. Okay?
You should.
Now, if you were using steroids, but you were saying that you got this amazing chiseled physique from just eating liver, and you went on all these podcasts and you made some of my friends eat liver, I think it's only fair that you eat some domesticated foods with us. Do you know what I mean? If you're getting primal foods and making all our friends eat balls and shit, I think it's only fair that we devour some domesticated foods. Don't you think that's fair?
No fucking way.
Whoa! But this body wasn't built by only liver. It was hard work, liver, and some steroids and some other stuff.
A little.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got men putting balls in their mouth?
Multiple balls. That's not
And you
very
won't eat a
ancestral.
motherfucking cupcake?
I'll put some more balls in my mouth. You know.
No, fuck that.
Hold on now. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're speaking his language, bro. This is a married man.
This guy was doing balls before you told him.
But hey, and for the record, I never fucking said eat liver and you're gonna look like this guy. Never have I said anything remotely even close to that. Right? And eating liver is just
Remotely close?
Yeah, how's that? Come on.
Remotely close.
Come on,
This is
bro.
what I would say. Yeah, you know, if you engage with my content, not even deeply, you know, just watch 15 fucking seconds every morning. The story is, the first thing I do is, good morning, primals. It's time to stack the sun and the earth. This is my primary stack, right? These are our ancestral ways to express our highest and most dominant form. I've never fucking said, eat liver, look like me. And what kind of
But
fucking...
when you lie about doing any performance enhancing anything, when you say PEDs or primal, whatever, don't you think that misleads people and tells them, if I eat and live like he lives, I will look like he looks?
Well, once
You're
again...
slithering a bit here.
I thank you for the pushback.
Yes,
you know.
of course, dude. That's what we do here.
Once again, what I would say...
I'm heartbroken, dude. I thought I've been eating liver and I look like
fucking
this.
eat liver.
Son, I've been eating balls and look how I look. I look
You
terrible.
better eat liver. And you know, like, I couldn't be more grateful. I don't know if you guys know, but Joe Rogan just had an episode. It was 35 minutes talking about Liver King.
Yeah.
You know, and the takeaway I got from it towards the end, he said how great liver is and how he eats liver all the time. His guest said that he eats liver every fucking day.
Yeah.
And so the name is Liver King, not to try and promote this guy. It's because liver is king. You need to be eating liver every fucking day.
I think that's, I think actually, if we're going to be serious for one moment, I don't think people would give much pushback to the ancestral tenets. I don't think that they would give pushback for adding these components into their diet. I think even Derek, who was on it, was like, I eat an ounce of liver a day or something like that.
Liver's
specifically. Yeah. I mean, you've seen how popular just staring at the sun has become. You know, Dr. Huberman has also been somebody who's been pushing that out like crazy. So I don't think that the ancestral tenets are necessarily bad. I don't think that you're getting pushback for those things. I think people agree with them. They probably have improved their lives.
Good.
Do you feel like that's the pushback, or do you think the pushback was just misleading about how you became this?
Oh, for sure, it's both. You know, I mean, and right now more than anything, it's about how I became this.
Yes.
You know, but what I would say is that there's no doubt in my mind. Once again, I know I fucked it up.
Right.
I own that shit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to lead a fucking path forward. You know, the true north has never changed.
Yeah.
Right? The true north really will remain these 9 ancestral tenets. You don't got to believe anything I fucking say.
Right.
But I'll tell you what you got to believe.
Yeah.
Are these facts that 4,000 people a day actually kill themselves, that 80,000 people a day try to, that 85% of the population suffers with self-esteem issues, 80% struggles paycheck to paycheck, 70% are overweight, half are obese, 50% on prescription medicine, 40% have or will get cancer, and 20% want to have kids and can't have kids. So all I'm saying is this, listen, you can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, but what you need to believe is the world is hurting at record fucking rates.
Yeah.
There's a simple solution to living a kick-ass life.
Yeah.
What I say is it starts with liver, because liver is king. But these 9 ancestral tenets, Joe Rogan and Andrew Huberman and all these other greats have been talking about them, not in an organized, packaged way, right? But everybody talks about sleep, how to eat, move, shield, connect, cold. Everybody loves getting cold today.
Yeah.
And we're talking
That's right,
about
the ice bath's incredibly popular. Yeah. That's what I think. I don't think there's any pushback on the ancestral tenets. I think that
Thank you for saying that.
No, I don't think, to me personally, just from seeing people, I don't think that anybody has gone, those things aren't good for you. I think that there has been people who have said, those things alone aren't gonna give you this.
Right.
And their issue is you don't tell them explicitly, hey, I'm on steroids. And if you explicitly lie and say, yo, I'm not doing anything, you are leading them to believe doing the 9 ancestral tenets will make them look like you. When in reality, you have a massive performance-enhancing drug, a lot of them in your system, which is fine.
But don't you think that's a fair criticism?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's
Yeah.
part of like accepting it and moving
abso-fucking-lutely.
forward, right? Like,
Absolutely.
because if I look, I'll be honest with you, I'm not into clearly working out that much, so it didn't really bother me. Like, thanks, Al. Come on. Thank you for your contribution to the show. I really needed to say that. Really, you got your moment. What a fucking idiot.
Fucking asshole, dude.
I already
Fuck
said
that-
it
fuck
about
that
me.
couch.
Get
Right.
primal, bro.
Hey, fuck that couch,
I
dude.
know, right? This piece of shit. Okay, so
How could you tell?
Look, did he just hop on me? Well, I'm trying to help this fucking guy out, sneaking up my goddamn couch. Okay, listen.
That's my seat, dog.
Okay,
You're 120 pounds ripped as fuck. I mean,
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so in all seriousness, right? I assume, this is my assumption from the outside world, right? That you started doing these things and they greatly impacted your life in a positive way. I genuinely believe that. And you go,
just for the record, that's actually not how it all happened.
oh, I want to hear the whole story.
Yeah, the way that it happened is my kids couldn't breathe. My kids had such severe health issues that they were taking ambulance trips to the hospital.
Holy shit.
And so we had been to 5, 6, 7, 8 different fucking doctors, all the same solutions, all the same bullshit, more EpiPens, more Benadryl, more allergy shots. Meanwhile, they can't
Damn
fucking breathe.
Rockefellers, right?
All the fucking way,
Rockefellers.
100%. But this is what ends up happening is like, you know, as a fucking dad, how much of that shit are you going to put up with?
100%.
You know, at some point you got to say, I'm not going to allow this to happen anymore. And so I just continue to research and find ways, and I found this way. I found the way of ancestral living. Like, who would have known the way that we've lived for millions of years
Works.
are still the ways that we fucking need to express robust health and happiness. And so we started trying it. We cut out all the processed foods that you guys are trying to trick me into eating right now.
Not tricky. Not tricky.
Rightfully so.
You gotta pay
Punish
the
you.
price.
Again, fuck
Punish
it.
you.
You gotta pay the price.
Yeah.
You know,
It's in donuts.
do you think we'll get views? Goddamn.
I hope. You know what's not? You know
Mind
what's
a single?
You know
I
what's
hope.
more king than liver? Views, baby. Views is king.
I mean, if you take a bite of an Oreo, it's over. You're forgiven.
Oh,
Well, look what we have
Yes.
here! Wow!
fuck, you actually did it.
Views. Our diet. This is what we eat.
Show that to the kids.
Wow!
That's
Hold on a second.
Now this
Hold on a
looks
second.
nasty to you, probably. You look at this
Look
and
at
you're like,
this.
ugh,
This right here is ancestral living.
that is gross.
This is what kings look like.
The
I never seen a
opposite.
king look like you.
You know what we
When you
call
think
that?
about it, this is what kings ate.
I don't know
Look
about
at that.
that.
You don't think kings were? Look at that.
That look better than liver. I'll tell you.
Can I have one of these?
Look at that chocolate covered donut.
That's-
What do you want?
Hey, you know what this is? Evolution.
Feed
This
me.
is thousands of years of dietary evolution.
What are you
Can you
doing right
can you
now?
just hold it? Can you just hold
Come
it?
on.
This is good.
Just hold it. You don't even have to fuck it or nothing.
You know what?
Just
Come on.
Fuck it.
Grab a bite.
Fuck it.
Come on, liver king.
Oh, liver king!
Hey, Ryan,
bro.
hey, are you concerned about hurting your brand? Is that what you're concerned about? Your reputation will take a hit?
Exactly. This is obviously not about my brand.
This is your
or my
punishment.
reputation.
This is, I'm telling you, this is your way to get back into people's good graces.
It's true.
Like you said, you got to take your licks. Now take a lick. You know what I mean?
Listen, this is the truth.
Here you go.
Oh, gladly.
Tell us the
Hey,
truth.
this is my living.
This is listen. Let's go. Let's
I'm
go.
gonna have to fucking
Hold on, Al.
actually wash my hands now.
No, God, no. Don't do that. Okay, there we go. We're listening. Go.
You're doing it too?
All like
Honestly,
we're
you
family.
should eat the donut real talk.
What is the 10th
I
ancestral
got
tenet?
one.
Yo, we're hanging with the boys. bro.
You got another one right here.
What is the 10th ancestral tenet?
Exactly.
It's a bite
Is
with the boys.
to have
bro.
some goddamn fun.
Yeah.
This is
thank
fun.
you.
Take
Thank
a bite
you.
out of a donut.
One bite? Come on, liver king. We're gonna have fun with the boys.
What's the worst is liver queen? I promise he takes one bite, he's not gonna, lose the family or anything like that. It's just a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
Dude,
he'll
your
be okay.
libido's gonna skyrocket.
You know what? Let's hang
30
on to this for a
seconds.
minute.
Huh?
Let's hang on to this for a
Take
minute.
a bite of it, put it on your pecker right there. I guarantee.
I'll
it's
eat the
gonna
rest
be
of it.
flying off your lap.
Hey, that's exactly what I want to do with guys around the fucking couch.
This is
Huh?
what the boys do. Dude, back in the day, you don't think the ancestors were whacking off in
Son, I'm
groups?
saying, yeah.
You know what? I don't know.
What do you think?
Hey, fucking fine. No, I've never read that in the book.
The Greek army. What did they invented all that stuff?
Let's see what you're packing, dog. Liver king or liver prince? You know what I mean?
No,
what I mean?
Fuck, I don't know if this is the same show I thought I was coming on.
Definitely not. Okay, but I do want to hear the whole story. What I was trying to do is give you the benefit of the doubt, which was you found this thing really helpful. Now I know for your kids, for your family, and you're like, I want to share this with the world, which I think is a beautiful thing. I think that's great. What I want to know is when it got
out of line. My assumption was that you want to play up a character that was larger than life because that could touch more people, and by touching more people, you could probably help them. I think that's best case scenario for you. Now, using the performance-enhancing drugs allowed you to have this, like you see this in cartoons, bro. This is not like a real thing that you see regularly, right? And because of it, when you're scrolling on Instagram and you see a guy walking around like that, you're like, what the fuck is going on, right? I think this makes sense.
Sure.
You're walking around the liver, like all these things, like the way that you created the virality around you is very impressive.
It's brilliant.
It's genuinely impressive, and your comfort doing podcasts and all that stuff, having never been in entertainment before, incredibly impressive. So there are components to this where, as someone who's in entertainment, I go, wow, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. What I'm curious about is, when did it get out of your control, if you will?
And why lie?
And why lie, yeah.
Yeah, you know, almost immediately it got out of control because almost immediately, you know, this question was asked, you know, if I'm taking anything. And so why lie? I shared this before, I'll share it with you guys. I mean, the mind is such an incredible weapon. And I'd convinced myself of a couple of things. I'll just tell you 3 of them. You know, the first is I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with my message? This is what I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, this has nothing to do with how people are hurting and hating and the simple solution to live a better life. I'm thinking, what the fuck does this have to do with my message? I'm not gonna talk, I would say, you convince me what day I should talk about these accusations versus the day we should talk about the hurting and hating and the path to a better fucking life. You tell me what day we should do that.
Today.
So I convinced myself of that. Right. The second thing is like, I'm thinking, what the fuck sport am I playing? Right? Who the fuck am I cheating? Again, I'm not saying any of this is right. All of it's wrong.
I understand.
We're not giving any pushback. I genuinely just want to know what was going through your mind, and these things seem reasonable.
This is what goes through my mind, and I'm thinking about, you know how many 15-year-olds have DM'd me, I wish you were my dad.
Whoa.
You know, I hate the fucking life that I live in.
Yeah.
I hate myself. You know, and I wish you were my dad, and I'm thinking, oh, god damn, you know. I convinced myself that this is not the message that this 15-year-old needs to hear. So I just fucking kept digging. You guys know.
Do you remember the first lie? I think people empathize with you. Lie about something and then it just gets whatever. But like, do you remember when you first lied and what went through your mind? And like, you remember that moment?
You know what? Not exactly. I do remember that Logan Paul gave me the opportunity to come on Impulsive. And I remember them asking me then. You know, and I remember, oh, fuck, okay, you know, this is what I'm gonna say. And I started saying it. And then once I said that, you know, like, I'm fucking done.
It's over.
Yeah, now you gotta dig in.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, talk about doubling down and tripling down. I mean, you know, I keep telling people this is the stupidest fucking thing I ever did.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you plan to do that before you went on the show? Like, was the conversation like, oh, if they ask, say this, or was that something that came up?
Well, people had already asked the DMs. People had already, you know, been commenting about it.
Were you responding to DMs or just?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was. And so I already had started lying about it. And so once again, like, this all went through my head. The first time somebody asked, I'm like, okay, I convinced myself of X, Y, and Z. So I'm not going to come out and share that information.
Yeah.
Why the fuck does it matter? Will this information ever come out? You know, and yeah, once you start fucking lying, you're done.
Yeah.
You're fucking done. I will say that there's so many fucking silver linings in life, though.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but like, as soon as this happened, I called Derek. I called him. First of all, he didn't answer.
Yeah.
And then I sent him a text and I said, hey man, I just want to thank you. And so then he answers. I'm like, hey man, actually the first thing I said to him, he answers, he goes, hello. And I said, hey, how fucking long did it take for you to make this documentary?
Yeah.
And he goes, weeks. And I said, weeks? You spent weeks making this documentary. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you. I don't know what good will come of it, but good will fucking come of it. I'm on the fucking show right now.
Yeah.
You know, I have this opportunity to be completely fucking honest with my boys. I've been lying to my boys, my own boys.
Wow.
You know, about this.
Now, is it in some ways liberating?
Completely.
Carrying around a lie. Maybe, I'm sure your wife knows about it, forcing her to lie. I don't know if the kids know about it, but basically you're carrying around this lie. That, people get crushed under that pressure,
weight,
especially when your identity is rooted in your physique.
Yeah, I'll say I think 2 things happened. For sure, it felt like a weight had been lifted.
Yep.
For about 5 seconds.
And then immediately.
And then immediately it's like, you know what, like, you know what I'm dealing with now.
Yeah.
You know, of course I'm gonna own it. And of course, you know, like now I have a deeper sense of obligation and responsibility to remain to my true north, to get this message out because of the people that were counting on me. Irrespective of it, if it happens through the Liver King brand or not, you know, I've always said I'm the CEO of the Ancestral Lifestyle. Here's the thing, I need 100 fucking CEOs of the Ancestral Lifestyle, you know, if this thing's gonna work.
Yeah.
You know, if this goes mainstream and we get people to execute at a deep level, it's like, this is way bigger than me. And so for a second, I'm like, oh, cool, the weight has been lifted.
Now, do you think that there was pushback because, okay, let me phrase this. I don't think you're getting nearly as much pushback if you just happen to be an accountant that looked like this and preached the ancestral lifestyle. The fact that you had businesses that were profiting off of it, I think makes people give pushback. And I think the second that you mentioned how much money the businesses were making, once you put money out there, envy follows, and they want to tear that ass down.
Yeah.
So, what is your thought on that? Do you think if you weren't profiting off of the way you look and simply just pushing it, that you would get next to this much scrutiny?
Yeah, the first thing I'll say is Liver King just launched a year and a few months.
Yeah.
I've been in supplement businesses since 2014.
Right.
I mean, with Liver King, the public figure is brand fucking new. Right. And what I can tell you is my businesses have always grown a certain amount. That amount hasn't increased, nor has it decreased. So what another thing I'll say is like, you know, again, the true north is the 9 ancestral tenets.
Yeah.
Now, anyone can sit here and say, oh, your businesses are profiting, you know. All I really fucking give a shit. Listen, you don't gotta, you know.
I'm really speaking more towards perception, because right now we operate in perception, not reality, right? The internet is perception.
But that is the reality.
Exactly, so perception becomes reality. So when they say my businesses are, when they see a headline that's like Liver King's business makes $100 million last year, they're assuming you pushing Liver King, not your other supplements that have nothing to do with you, that people don't even know the brands that are exactly associated. They're just saying $100 million, Liver King products. Then they find out you're on steroids. They're like, this motherfucker was lying about his body so he could sell these Liver King bars and make hundreds of millions of dollars. Fuck that guy.
And adding to their hatred, think how many people...
Have you tried the Liver King bar, by the way?
Did you bring any for us?
It's so fucking good. Lifetime
Did you
supply
bring any?
for everybody here.
How about one?
You guys bring out the Liver King bars.
Thing?
Bring them out.
I gave you a whole spread. You didn't give me none.
Liver King bars, Liver King bars.
We're not eating your shit until you eat our shit.
So I guess what I'm trying to get to is like more the perception, right? Because we're operating perception. You can empathize with somebody that sees that.
And, 100%.
And
I can empathize with them.
Resentful.
I deserve it. They should be resentful about it. You know, again, like, I apologize because I lied, because I deceived people, because I misled people. Again, I fucking own it. I deserve it all.
Right.
And, you know, and what I would say to anybody who wants to retaliate or go somewhere else, right? What I would ask, you got to be loyal to the facts that people are hurting and hating at record rates.
So
and listen, you want to go somewhere else? Go somewhere else. I don't give a shit.
You're like, get these things from Huberman. Get these things from the many other people that are preaching very similar philosophies that will help you with your life. That's what you're saying. So you're saying it doesn't need to be Liver King who's pointing these things out. It could be Derek from More Plates, More Days.
And guess what? Every one of them saying the same thing. They're all saying liver is king.
And they're saying make sure you get an ice bath, make sure you look at the sun, make sure you do all these things. Clearly these things work. You call them in the ancestral tenets. Huberman's going to call them something else. More Plates, More Days going to call them. Rogan's going to call them something else. But what you're saying right now, it's more important to you that people do these things so they could feel better than they just follow you as their Lord and Savior.
This is my why in the world.
Got you. Now, my question is this. Because I saw the apology, and I thought it was great that you apologized. Now, can you also empathize with the people that felt that you were using the suicide stuff as a shield to protect you?
Sure. You know, what I'll say is this. My 10 to 15-year-old self was the hardest fucking time in my life. I'm grateful for it. This was my first rite of passage in life. Every day I got the shit kicked out of me. Like I said, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
But here's what I remember. In middle school, my bus driver killed himself.
Oh, no.
And every day prior to that, I remember looking in the mirror just wishing I wasn't this fucking guy. Zero self-worth, totally humiliated and embarrassed of the human that I had become. When he killed himself, now I fucking knew it was possible, you know, and I knew the world would be better without me. I could talk more about those years if you want me to, but a couple years later, my best friend's brother killed himself. I've had talks in my family about people wanting to kill themselves. Just last week, we had a 14-year-old girl close to the family kill herself. And you know what? Nobody wants to talk about this.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are people not talking about this? 4,000 people a day do it. 80,000 people a day try to fucking do it. Somewhere along the continuum, people are suffering and struggling at record fucking rates. So this is what I would say back. Number one, this is why I'm fucking here. The only reason why I'm here. And then secondly, I think when somebody has the opportunity to talk about it, you better fucking talk about it. It's dangerous if you don't. It's irresponsible if you don't. So you want to laugh and say, oh, he's just saying this to do that thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you're not laughing, but other people are saying, oh, he's shielding.
No, I was very for me, I'm very sensitive with that kind of stuff because I have close family members who have been suicidal.
We all have.
100%, right? So like me not knowing those things about you, my knee-jerk reaction was like, whoa, are you using this thing as a shield? I've seen certain people use the suicide thing as a shield for like protection from the ugly beliefs they have. Like it's a topic that's used often to be like, well, I know I said this fucked up shit, but by the way, did you know this is happening to men? We need to look out for men. We need to be careful, and we need to nurture them. And everybody's forgetting men. When you tell me that you've had these close people in your life kill themselves, immediately I empathize. I go, oh fuck, man, he really does care about this stuff. He went through a tough time in his life. His kids couldn't even fucking breathe. You're trying to find ways to make life easier for people. Now you're a person. Now you're Brian Johnson. Yeah. Now you're not Liver King. The problem with creating the mascot of the cartoon is they don't have feelings. They don't have family. Yeah. They don't have emotions to the consumer, right? Fucking the guy on Captain Crunch, I don't know what he went through. Right. I don't know how many cousins he got. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just the Captain Crunch guy who sells me Crunch Berries. And that is
look kind of similar.
Yeah, exactly. The benefit of being Captain Crunch is you can be everywhere.
Yeah.
But the problem is nobody gives a fuck about your feelings.
Sure.
So for me, that makes me feel better when my knee-jerk reaction was like, ooh, I think that's a shield. And a shield that I'm really sensitive about.
If you can talk also to that, because I think the perception some people might still have is, yeah, but the perception, not the reality, is, yeah, but you didn't really start talking about this until you got exposed. So if it mattered to you so much, why weren't you leading with that before? And I could be wrong. I might not have watched enough videos.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I saw you talk about it. I saw you talk about it before when I was doing some
So you've been talking about this the whole time.
From the inception.
100%. But
100%,
but the people who aren't consuming all your content are once again just going to see it.
Oh, I know.
So
yeah.
that's why I think it's to be honest. Why I wanted you to come on here. We don't do gotcha interviews. That's not what it's about. I just want to know what's like going through, like what was going on in your life, and as these things happened, and as you saw this, kind of runaway train happen. Like you said, you wanted to go in the email from like the followers you had to 1 million, and then you became one of the most viewed people on the internet in a very short amount of time. You get all these DMs that are reaffirming the good that you're doing. It's very easy probably to block out the lie when you have 15-year-olds going, thank you so much for helping me. You go, okay, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying you're Castro, but it's like, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that were in Cuba going, oh, this shit is great. Thank you. We finally got some food. A bunch of other people going, what the fuck is going on? What happened to all my riches? The road to, this seems so exaggerative, but like, what do they say? The road to
hell is paved with good intentions.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think that you're going to hell for this, but you do seem to have good intentions, and I do believe the intentions. It is it's a very tricky thing. It's a very tricky place you're in.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we take a break for a second because I gotta tell y'all about SeatGeek. Okay, SeatGeek is the #1 place for you to get tickets, especially to all those concerts, comedy shows. Akash Singh's still out on tour right now. Those shows are always sold out, so make sure you get them tickets on SeatGeek. If you want to watch a football game, basketball game, it doesn't matter what it is, SeatGeek has got your back. And not only do they have your back, they're gonna let you know if it's a good deal or not. Simple as that. Green dot means it's a good deal. Red dot is not a good deal. Someone's trying to gouge your ass and it's not worth it. But if you really need to see that show, if you really need to see that game, you could absolutely cop that ticket. But it's cool that SeatGeek has got your back. I'm telling you, SeatGeek wants to make sure you're getting what it is worth. Now, I also want to let you know that they're offering a discount. You're going to actually get a better seat because you listen to this show right now. All right? We got the hookup for you. Use the code FLAGRANT. You're going to get $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with the promo code FLAGRANT. Get an even better seat and support this show. Thank you guys so much. Now let's get back to it. All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because I got to tell y'all how to be healthy. Steroids. No, I'm just joking. Shout out to our boy, Listen, it's AG1. Simple as that. Athletic Greens. This is all you need in the morning. How amazing is that? You know, I'm tired of taking the pills, the vitamins, all this other nonsense. I need simplicity in my life, and the best option for easy, optimal nutrition out there is AG1. You take one scoop of this, and you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day. Listen, sustainable routines are key. AG1, that's my daily micro habit, okay? That makes it easy to absorb key nutrients, lead a healthy lifestyle, and feel my best no matter what the day holds. One scoop, 1 minute, once a day, every day. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with the convenient daily nutrition that you need. One scoop in a cup of water every single day, that's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. It's Athletic Greens, the AG1 right there. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/flagrant. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/flagrant to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now let's get back to the show.
Do you wish that you had told the truth when asked?
Of course. Oh, 100% I wish I had told the truth when asked. I mean, but we're fucking so far past that.
And why did you not tell the truth in that moment?
Yeah, well, like I shared earlier, you know, it's like I had convinced myself of probably 16 different fucking reasons. The primary ones were, this has nothing to do with my message. You think that we're going to talk about this instead of the actual issues? You know, we're going to talk about this instead of people today go to a job that they hate. They come home to a job to a life they don't love. They sedate themselves. They distract themselves. Most people just don't fucking like their lives. You think we're going to talk about this instead of that? You know, we're going to talk about like these easy, accessible things to do to go kick ass. You think we're going to talk about this? You know, people would just straight up say, hey, are you on steroids? And I would just say, hey, did you know 4,000 people a day kill themselves? Which one you want to talk about?
You would also say like, no, I'm not.
Oh, 100%. But I'm giving you examples of.
You know what's more effective though? You telling your personal story. Like
I know that.
That like now, like,
bro, you don't even know you're getting to know my personal story. You know, I hope to be able to share some stuff today.
please.
Yeah,
That's
would
why
love
you're
that.
here. Like,
But
I
it's okay,
genuinely want to know.
You know, so you know, my kids said, my kids asked why, and a lot of what I shared on the apology video was just kind of a replica of what I shared with my kids. But really, I think what it all comes down to, like the real why is, you know, I got to crush myself in the gym multiple times a day, just to feel like I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm worth it, like I fucking earned it, you know, and trust me, this is not like just one time a day. Like this is multiple times a day. And somebody said, okay, why do you gotta do all that shit? You know, and I'm like, oh my God, you know what? I've never dealt with this before. And again, this is a silver lining. Now I have the chance to go deep.
Yeah.
When I talk about my 10 to 15-year-old self, when you guys fucking understand, you know, the first day of middle school for me was some fucking guy who looked like he was 35 with a mustache and everything. Hawks a loogie on his fucking hand, smacks me in the face, and I didn't know what the fuck, where I was. But what would happen at least once a week is I just got blindsided, I'd get knocked out, and I would wake up, and I'd have my book bag, the bell had already rung, nobody's in the hallway, and I gotta figure out, okay, what fucking period is it? You know, and this is my entire fucking middle school. Not once did I stand up for myself. Not once did I fight back or push. And when the guys would come, I would just walk back, and say, you don't want to fight me, I'm a pussy. And this is true, you know, and I thought for years, I was like, I'm gonna take that shit to the grave. You know, I think a real defining moment for me was in middle school. This kid, Chris, challenged me to a fight. For him to enter into a gang, he had to get into a fight. So some people told me about this thing, and I'm like, well, why would I do that? Well, I've never gotten in a fight. You think I'm gonna fight in front of a whole fucking gang and do all this shit, you know? And so I immediately was like, of course I'm not gonna do this. You know, my brother happened to be around, who's an older brother. He was with a friend, Justin, and his mom. And his mom said, you have to do this. And my dad died when I was a little kid, and I don't have any memory of him. I had never had a male mentor in my life, but she said, you gotta do this. Justin said, you gotta do this. My brother said, you gotta do this. Hey, you're strong. And I'm thinking, I can't believe you guys are fucking tricking me into doing this. She drives me to the fight in her white Econoline van. And I remember getting out of this van, my heart was beating 1,000,000 miles a fucking minute. I see him, I see it looked like 30 people, I'm sure it was 15. behind him. And I remember walking up to him really fast. And I remember I'm just gonna give it everything I got. And I came a mile fucking back here, and I was probably a mile away from this guy. And I swung so fucking hard, I threw myself to the ground. So I'm on the ground. He's coming up to me, you know, to kick me. And everyone wore steel toe boots back then. And so he's coming up to kick me. And as he's coming up to kick me, I picked him up and I manhandled him. And I realized how fucking strong I am. And then I was able to mount him. And I was able to pin his elbows, his arms under my knees. And I had my left hand on his neck, and I had my right hand cocked back, and I looked in his eyes. And I saw how helpless, how hopeless, how pathetic, how scared he was. And I saw myself. And I couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't do it. And I remember getting up, kind of running back to the van. And when I got in, everyone was kind of proud of me. You know, everyone was throwing rocks at the van. The windshield got cracked, and I was so worried about her van. And she looked back at me. Justin's mom looked back at me, and she's like, she said she's proud of me. And you know what I knew right then? I was like, you know what is fucking worthless? Is I had felt what seemed like my whole life.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And if I could do that, what else am I capable of doing?
So that was the spark.
You know what? Again, I know I haven't dealt with this because...
Wait, did you get to join the gang? Like, how did...
No, and sometimes I think, God damn, I should have just done it. I would have gotten so much more respect if I had just done that. And that guy, when I let him up, he didn't come after me because he fucking knew.
You knew what time it was, yeah.
He knew.
I have way more respect for you doing it like that. I could fuck you up. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But you know what, like, so I doubled down then on working. I'd already been working out for a while.
Right.
But now I doubled down on that. You
Yeah.
know, now I'm like, oh my God, I can actually control outcomes in my life. And well, fast forward all these years, that's not changed. You know, it's like, I still need to do that to feel, I don't go to sleep at night feeling pathetic. What I do is what's required of me to do is to kill myself, to crush myself, to destroy myself enough times to be like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Like, to me, this is way more relatable. And I think that, like, I think, you know, you said a couple things.
Well, first
to
of
me.
all, I didn't know any of this. You know, like,
Of course, you're processing it, you're becoming
well,
self-aware.
people are asking why, and I'm like, well, I don't know, because I got to get in the gym. Well, why do you got to do that? I'm like, I don't fucking know until
recently.
Yeah.
But I think you said something interesting, like you grew up without a father. You didn't have, like, so to me, you're becoming like the almost cartoonish version of what a man is, right? But it's lacking the vulnerability that we connect with.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
And like a lot of times we don't know that. Notice that. Like I remember with my wife. I'll tell you a personal story with my wife. We were trying to have a kid. The first month we're trying to have a kid. We didn't have a kid. The first month, my wife is a little bit type A or whatever that shit is. Like it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful we didn't have a kid first because I was doing a lot of drugs earlier in that month. So our kid would have been fucking whack, right? Like that.
Yeah.
But
that's how all of ours were conceived. We were partying like crazy, by the way. That's why they are the way they are.
well, look at there.
No actual drugs, just a lot of alcohol. They're great, by the way.
Good cover up. Liver Queen, calm down.
Did you see her? Oh my God.
Like alcohol. Okay, but so we got this test done on my sperm, right? And my sperm is great except for like grade of motility or something like that. I don't even know what the fuck it is. She's calling around, oh, it's how fast they swim or something like that. She's freaking out, right? And my reaction to her is machismo. It is, hey, we're gonna be great. Don't worry, we got this. I'm like, yo, if you want to do more tests or go to a specialist, but don't worry, I know for a fact we got this. She's interpreting that as I'm not taking this seriously.
You don't care.
And I don't care. What I'm doing is covering up my vulnerability, which is, will she not love me if I can't get her pregnant? Will she think I'm less of a man? Will my wife not be attracted to me? So I'm trying to cover up the real feeling I have, right? Which is being terrified that the woman I love could stop loving me because I can't do this fucking primal thing. I shared that with her the other night. She fucking started crying. So I would never think differently, whatever. And I wish that I led with the vulnerability. To me, I'm really glad that you're coming on right now and like saying the true reasons why you're even pushing this lifestyle. It's to cover something up. You said that it was like 85% of people deal with like low self-esteem. You're wrapping your self-esteem into something that I think is unhealthy.
Yeah.
You have a wife.
no,
you have a
absolutely.
family. You have successful businesses. You don't need to lift heavy shit 2 times a day to feel good about you. Were you a good dad that day?
Yeah.
Were you good to your friends? Did you care about people?
Yeah.
Did you provide for people? Like, those are the things that I'm looking at and going, that's a king, not someone who
Yeah.
can fucking bench press.
Yeah.
Because if bench pressing makes you a man, what the fuck am I? But I think I'm a good man.
Yeah.
So maybe, maybe part of the ancestral tenets is recognizing what you're doing and how you are being a good man, which is providing and loving the people and caring for the people around you.
Right.
Maybe that's something that you need to take note of, man. And
Beautiful.
leading with that fucking vulnerability that has really transformed this interview.
Yeah.
You telling me the things you went through, all the suicides that you had to deal with, made that real, not an excuse when you said it. I think vulnerability is the only thing we can connect to as human beings. We look up to the person who seems infallible, but we don't connect to them.
No.
I feel more connected to you now, man.
Thank you for sharing.
Despite your stink.
I it's really hard to share that.
Even in the email that was leaked or whatever, when you said something about like, oh, I have this back fat that kills me, I think a lot of guys are like, yeah, but who cares? Like, that doesn't make you or break you in anybody's eyes. So my question to you is, would you be willing to go natty now to promote the ancestral tenets even further and say, look, I use this. Now look, I'm just doing this, and I might not be as ripped, but I feel great. I have a family that loves me, everything, you know what I mean?
Keep in mind, every one of us on this podcast is about to get on steroids very soon. I mean that 100%.
I'm going to do peptides.
Bare minimum
1000%.
peptides. Bare minimum peptides. But
Yeah.
but carry on.
I know a guy.
Would you?
I'll also answer your question. I believe so deeply in this message and the 9 ancestral tenets and the ancestral living. To answer your question, yes.
Okay.
You would
Oh,
go
you're about-
natty.
Yes.
So are you going natty? That's it?
Yes.
Now, don't do one of them things where you say it on a podcast.
I'm done with that. When I had the opportunity
We'll see it if he stops
to
doing
issue the
Yeah.
apology, I was like,
yeah.
You know what? So many people were threatening to come out like with prescriptions of the actual growth hormone you name it, and I said, well, you know what? This is my time to just fucking do it all, to say it all. I get this one opportunity to just be completely fucking honest about everything. I'm gonna do this thing, and I know right now it's the same deal. It's like, okay, I fucked this whole thing up. I've learned from this. The thing that I've learned from this is like, I'm not doing this again. Forget that shit. Like, now I got this responsibility, this obligation. There's so many silver linings in it. Do you know how much better this will be for my health? Again, there's maybe we'll talk about more of the silver linings, but
The worst thing for primal lifestyle is dying at 50.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the worst thing for the
Trust
brand.
me, I've thought about that. I'm like, okay, what if this guy dies at 50? What do you think people are going to think about that?
It's like Atkins. Remember Atkins?
Yeah.
The Atkins diet? He died of a fucking heart attack?
How old was he?
I don't know, but you're not supposed to die of a heart attack.
He was probably on steroids. Exactly. So the thing is, I have this opportunity,
Yeah.
right? To never go back to that fucking place where I lied about shit. And so this is my commitment.
When was the last time you had used gear?
Oh, Saturday. Today.
So why stop? I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to stop.
I love you.
See how honesty is beautiful? That's a great thing.
Listen, there's 2 pieces to it.
Now!
There's 2 pieces to it. I do testosterone and I do growth hormone.
Yeah.
Growth hormone is daily.
Yes.
And I was talking to my friends the other day. We're having coffee. We're on mushrooms. We're doing mushrooms. Yeah. And
Fun.
Ancestral.
And I go, hey man, I gotta leave for a minute. I gotta go do my growth hormone. And they're like, because none of them knew any of this stuff,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, holy fucking shit! Like, everybody laughed. And then a friend came to use the pisser, and he looked around the corner, and he could see me doing it. And he goes, holy fucking shit! You're actually doing it. Growth hormone is a daily thing.
Right.
And then testosterone is a once-a-week thing. So Saturday is my fucking day for testosterone. Every day is my day for growth hormone. I'm working with some people that are really close to me, to experts, to come off this.
Now, what happens?
So it doesn't happen overnight, but this is what I'm doing.
But what happens, because I know there's a bunch of guys who I've spoken to who, as they've gotten older, their testosterone levels have dipped under a normal amount. So they're trying to bring it back to a normal amount. That would technically be considered steroid use, but I don't know if anybody would be that critical of it.
Well, listen, I'm calling it steroids, like, to be as forthcoming as possible.
But do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. You know how many people around me are saying, hey, don't say you're taking steroids. And I'm like, listen, you think I'm going to get a break to say I'm just taking TRT?
Yeah.
I'm just taking growth hormone.
No, you won't get a break.
I'm just doing hormone replacement therapy. I mean, you know how many people have said, it sounds a lot better if you just say exactly what you're doing. I'm like, fuck it. You know what I'm going to do?
The average person is going to just call it roids, call it gear, etc.
And testosterone technically is a steroid hormone. Growth hormone technically is a peptide hormone. These are different things, but you know what? Testosterone is a steroid. If you're taking TRT, you're taking fucking steroids.
Yeah.
Or you're taking steroid. You know, maybe I should say that I'm on steroid. You know,
I'm curious. If you go natural though, because your image is tied to your brand, and so like, what if like the cuts start going away and things like that, and you don't look as good?
How's it gonna?
Are you worried about your brand at all?
No, not at all. You know, again, like this is so much more important than me and my brand. You know, again, the true north is this message, and I'm completely convinced that I know how I looked before I touched anything. You know, I mean, if you guys fucking saw my 15-year-old picture, you'd be like, if that guy just looked like that, he'll be able to do what he needs to do. You know how
testosterone is not an issue for.
You know, like to the trained eye, you know the difference. You know, but most of the world probably wouldn't fucking know the difference. You know,
really?
and this isn't even the actual deal. You know, the deal that I have to deal with, for me, is how am I going to deal with not getting into the gym 2 or 3 times a day doing this? That's what I actually have to deal with. And I'm not worried about, okay, and I'll tell you right now, I'll lose 15 pounds. You know, I'll lose 15 pounds, but I'll still be ripped. And people are going to still, I fucking guarantee you, people are still going to say, oh, he's still taking shit. You know, and I'm fine with that too. You know, I don't know what we can do. Maybe we'll do blood chemistry analysis, you know, over time and look at that kind of stuff. But this is my commitment. And you're talking about people that, you know, as they get older, when their testosterone, you know what? Here's the thing. Again, I believe so deeply in these 9 ancestral tenets that the root cause of my issue, the real root cause is the self-worth thing. But the more direct root cause is I overtrain like fucking crazy. And when you overtrain like crazy, you know how badly that fucks up your hormones?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the
I'll
recovery.
just give you one. Do you know how important your sleep is? Right?
Yeah, I'm learning now. I didn't realize this, but I'm learning now.
Well, check. So for so many fucking years in a row, I would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I would hear my neighbor playing basketball. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? This crazy neighbor Brian, like, and I wouldn't put it past him. Playing basketball too. I could hear the fucking ball. I could feel the ball bouncing day after day after day. And I would say, hey, what the fuck is he doing? Do you hear that? And then one time, you know, she's like, I don't hear anything. And I realized it was my heart.
Whoa.
It was my heart. And this is before taking stuff. And I never stopped overtraining. I never stopped. My resting heart rate was around 100. Wow. My resting heart rate was around 100.
What's normal?
Normal's probably,
60.
normal for me is around 60. Yeah. About 55, 60 is actually normal for me. I don't get there unless when I fast, I do a 5-day water-only fast once a quarter, and I'm able to recover everything. And it's like the most dangerous, it's the best thing you could do for your brain and your body. My resting heart rate finally gets better. You know, but guess what? That's about to last for about 2 days because I took 5 days off, and now I'm about to go get it all back. So I know that the more direct root cause is how am I going to deal with not being in the gym multiple times a day? And I got to sort that out. I'll deal with that one day at a time. I'll sort that out.
And just for, again, a layman like myself, you can't be in the gym multiple times a day because it's the steroids and the HGH help you recover enough.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's not that you don't have time. It would just be too, your muscles would be too destroyed?
Dude, cognitively and physically, you just fall apart.
Got you.
You just fall. And that's actually why I really sought the help, all the help.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I needed to get into the gym twice a day. And then my cognitive and physical abilities were I wasn't recovering, cobwebs all over. I'm like, okay, let me get some help. I got some help. It made a big difference. It made a dangerous difference because I'm like, okay, now maybe I could get a 3rd session in. And I just pushed it even more. You know, and some days I get a 4th session in. And when we're on vacation, I'm like, I got to go do that thing again. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? We're on vacation. I'm like, I have to go do that thing again. You don't feel like that? I don't understand how nobody else feels like that. I'm like, I have to go do that thing again. And she just knows. She's like, go do that thing again.
I have to do that thing. Like, I have to work out in order to feel good.
Yeah.
And I've done that for my entire life pretty much. And I have to work out in a specific way. It has to be, I can't, it's just lifting heavy weights doesn't really do it. It has to be like hard cardio to the point where all I'm thinking is about my next breath. And then my brain just kind of like relaxes and I get out of my own way. And I'm just calm for the end of the day. It's amazing. But usually if I get one, I don't have to do that again. But there is something that I need to do to unlock it. So I understand that feeling. I'm like way more anxious if I don't work out. I'm way more insecure. There's something beautiful about the workout. So when I hear people preaching the importance of exercise, I relate to that 100%. And it's hard to understand it unless you've felt the benefits of it. It's like explaining to somebody what ecstasy does or mushrooms. It's like, you can't explain it. Oh, you see colors. Like, it sounds like the dumbest thing ever until you're on mushrooms. You're like, man, them colors are slapping right now, right? Like, so I do understand the importance of pushing lifestyle. I do. I get it. I just hope that me, you, other people can find self-worth outside of just maybe the way we look and the way we work out. Because ancestral living, none of our ancestors look like you, dog. Our ancestors were skinny. You know what I mean? Like, they were not as shredded as you, but
I don't know if you know, but I've been around the world to visit with our modern day primitive culture tribes.
Yeah.
In the Amazon and Africa. We just got back from Mongolia. Nobody looks like me.
That's what I'm saying.
And I used to try and defend that position because you actually see a lot of six packs. But you don't see this muscle mass.
Yeah, it's the mass.
It doesn't confer a fitness benefit in that community. But what I will say is this, man: the women in Mongolia, how strong they are.
Really?
I bring these 100-pound dumbbells everywhere I go. And these women in Mongolia, in the middle of fucking nowhere, they pick them up, no problem whatsoever. Right? They don't know the form or anything. They pick both of them up and they move them around. And I'm thinking, oh, I can't let a woman pick it up. But she's already done it. She's gone. Just today, we're leaving the hotel and
maybe they were lady boys.
Well, I will say this: one man couldn't do it by himself.
Really?
Yeah, he got another man. They're both trying to carry one, and I'm like, guys, you know. But you're right. Our early ancestors didn't look like our modern day primitive culture tribes. They don't look like this.
They're lean because of diet, probably, and the exercise they're getting, but they don't have that fucking mass, man.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe there's something about tapping into our ancestral roots that is more than just the physical. You know, maybe it's the mental liberation.
Yeah, their
that they
self-worth.
experience.
Ancestrally, our self-worth was never based in how we looked. So there's a 10th tenet probably, which is you have to feel good about yourself for you before all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's so many fundamentals baked into these tenets. The ninth one is bond.
Yeah.
Right? And when you put down your goddamn phone and you do this kind of thing, right? You share this kind of chemistry. You produce this kind of electricity. You know your place. Mm-hmm. You know who guards the perimeter. You know who is the hunter. You know your roles and goals. Everybody knows who the best hunter is. Everybody knows who the weapon maker is. Everybody knows who the fucking chief is, right? Your roles and goals, life and death depends on you to do that. Mm-hmm. And I believe that there's a lot of self-worth there. I know what my roles and goals are in life, you know.
But outside of roles and goals, what about the camaraderie when you're hanging with your boys?
Well, this is it. This is friendship, right?
Yes.
Like this is a role as a friend. And what's the goal there is to deepen that connection, to make progress, you know, with this sort of connection. So I think that one of the most important things I need to put in front of me is like what my roles and goals are.
Yeah.
And how to develop roles outside of myself. To develop myself. Again, I'm working on this one day at a time.
Good.
And I think I know what that path looks like. But you're totally right. You know, you go and you visit with these tribes. I was really hoping when we went to go see the Machi Genga in the Amazon. My kids call them the Machi Gangsters, by the way. And their number one predator is the neighboring tribe that comes over and attacks them with machetes and kills them.
Yeah.
This still goes on.
Yeah.
The number two predator is a jaguar. You know, and my kids thought that was pretty badass. They call them the Machi Gangsters. I was hoping to see somebody and be like, oh, okay, not only do I look like this, but other guys, I've never seen it. No.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. So you're right about that.
All right, guys, let's take a break for a second because obviously some of y'all are feeling that primal urge to manscape right now. It's okay. There's no shame in the game. I shaved my pubes 2 days ago. I need to trim it up. I was feeling a little down. I wanted to see my root look a little bit bigger. So I shaped it up, and now I'm looking gorgeous, beautiful, okay? Nocturnal. That's right. You can't see your dick in the dark if the bush is covering everything, but you shave it down, and now you trunked up. Trunked up. You thought only girls could be trunked up? Dudes could be trunked up, okay? And you get trunked up with the Manscaped. The best shaver in the business is saving you time. It's saving you time shaving your balls. You don't want to use 15 different goddamn things. That Lawnmower 4.0, simple as that. Shave your nuts, shave your root if you need to, shave the pubes up top.
Get the platinum package for your package.
Exactly, man. All you need to do is shave them. And Manscaped has got you. So simple as that. Matter of fact, Flagrant has also got you because you're going to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/flagrant. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com/flagrant. Manscaped, get your jingle balls ready for the holidays. An amazing gift to your dad. And if you give it to your dad, it's also a gift for your mom, if you know what I'm saying. So get it done. Manscaped.com/flagrant. Make sure you use that. Now let's get back to the show. All right, guys, we're gonna take a break for a second because honestly, I think some of y'all need the smoothest, the coldest cannabis smoking experience that you can ever have. And it's very simple how you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that with the freeze pipe. I mean, look at that right there. You see that liquid in there, that glycerin right there? You're gonna put that in the freezer. It's gonna get so cold that when you take them bong rips, it's gonna feel like winter touched your lungs. I'm telling you, you're not doing those coughs, your throat's not on fire, nothing. Goes down smooth, comes out smoother. It's absolutely amazing. The best smoking experience you've ever had, guaranteed. Put the glycerin in the freezer. Simple as that. And look how classy that shit is. Isn't that beautiful? This is what you want to smoke out of. This is what a lady wants to see when you bust out this bong, right? Not some multicolored bullshit you got at some fucking taco stand in Tijuana. You want the freeze pipe, okay? You want the freeze pipe right here because that's class. Class claps cheeks. That's a fact. Plato said that. Plato said that. Isn't that crazy? Plato said that. Socrates knows it for a fact. And I'm not going to get into Greek culture and what they're known for. What I'm trying to say is class claps cheeks. And this right here is class. Smoke weed with class. Matter of fact, you could treat yourself or be the holiday hero and give this to someone else. Remember, they're always going to remember that. You shop now and enjoy free shipping at thefreezepipe.com. Use the code FLAGRANT. You're going to get 15% off your entire order. Think about that. That's thefreezepipe.com. The code is FLAGRANT. You get 15% off. The perfect gift for you and your favorite stoner. Shop today and smoke like royalty without paying a king's ransom. Now let's get back to the show.
Also, guys, I got to sit in Liver King's stinking like shit-ass seat to tell you about some tour dates. Big Daisy Energy Tour is wrapping up, but before it does, January 14th, I'm at the historic Wilbur Theater in Boston. Bring that ass out. It will sell out. January 20th and 21st, I'm going to be in Las Vegas at the Virgin Hotels. You know why. February 9th through 11th, I'm going to be at the Punchline Comedy Club in Sacramento. And March 9th through 11th, I'm coming back to Miami. Guys, y'all showed us so much love when we were there. Show the same kind of love when we come back to the Miami Improv. Get your tickets at akashsing.com. Now let's get back to Liver King telling us he's a liar.
I was so curious with the email. It's at some point it showed like the amount you were spending per month on like all that stuff. Could you break that down, like everything you're taking?
Want it bad.
I want to spend. I want to spend that.
Just break everything down
And then
what
tell
it
us where
actually
we can
does.
get the Canadian version for way cheaper.
Well, let me start with another silver lining.
Yeah.
Derek shared my email with the world. Mm-hmm. Right? Oh. You know how many pharmacies and clinics have reached out and said, you're paying double the amount? you know how much money I'm already saving? You know, I just upgraded. I got into the hotel yesterday.
This guy saved you $60,000 a year, Derek.
More than that, we upgraded.
Yeah.
We're going to Florida after this. Upgrade fucking hotel. But all the money's in the growth hormone. You know, like testosterone's $100 a month.
Oh, really?
Testosterone's $100 for 3 months. So testosterone doesn't cost anything. It's very cheap. The peptides that I had taken, all the peptides are long gone. You know, I tried all these peptides to try and increase my growth hormone. None of that worked. My growth hormone never registered any kind of bump. My IGF-1 levels, which is a kind of a long-term indicator of what your growth hormone is over time. A lot of times people go take a growth hormone test. It might not register anything because it's so volatile over time. So IGF-1 is like, okay, what's your growth hormone long-term? What has it been like, you know, for like, I don't know, the last 6 weeks or something? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but whatever. The money that I spend is really on the growth hormone.
Right.
Like when he says that number, That's on the growth hormone.
Gotcha.
So people have been asking me, so how much do you actually spend? I'll tell you this. I mean, it's enough to buy a car every month. That's how much it is. You know, but now I get to save 50%. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, for but again, my goal is to save 100%. You know, like I'm getting off this, and my goal is to save 100%. But so the number he shared was pretty accurate.
And how did you feel the day you found out that he had made this documentary about you? Like you woke up in the morning, you saw it, and what
you know
what
what's
happened?
funny? I was sitting, ironically, maybe not ironically, I was sitting on the pew inside of my house. It's a really dark space, and so I'm sitting on this pew, and it's probably 8:30 at night. This is when I go to bed.
Church pew?
Yeah.
A church pew.
You have a church inside of your house?
We have a church pew inside of the house.
Oh, just the pew. Got it.
Do you,
and
do you
had a
pray
lot of
there?
confessing to do, I guess.
I have special moments there.
Gotcha.
And it's also a place where
did Mark.
it's dark. It's just a sacred place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bed, and I just look just to make sure every night. I make sure any emergencies, you know, and you know, 19 out of 20 times, no emergencies, I go to bed. So anyways, I turn on my phone and like a WhatsApp group thread. It's like, do we need to get crisis management involved? And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go again. I mean, because this happens all the time, right? And somebody sent the link. I hit play, and I'm like, okay, Derek's already made 5 videos, right? So I'm like, okay, here's another video. So I respond, I don't have fucking time for this. I'm going to bed. Somebody responds, go to minute 32.
Uh-oh.
I go to minute 32, and my heart starts going. And I go, wife! She comes over, she sits right here. I watched 2 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit. And so, again, the immediate reaction is like, okay, no point crying over spilt milk. Like, you can't fabricate this.
Yeah.
You know, this is, I mean, he reads everything that I wrote. Like, you can't fabricate this thing. You know, and so I didn't watch the rest of the video that day. But what I did do is I got in touch with I called him. You know, again, to say thank you. I don't know what good will come of this. You know, this is why, you know, I've achieved the success that I have. Like, one of my superpowers is focus. Okay, we did that. No point, you know, crying over that. Like, this is what I got to do. You know, so I started developing my path forward. And again, like, when you express gratitude and appreciation, at the same time, you can't live a life of scarcity. You can't live in a life of fear. You can't hate people at the same time, right? So if you're grateful and you expand, you know, and you live that philosophy of abundance, you can't do the two at the same time. So so that's what I thought about it. That's how I handled it. And I slept like shit that night. I slept like shit that night. Next day, we talked to crisis management. You know,
What does that mean?
some PR, you know, guys like,
Gotcha.
here's how you handle the crisis. Here's what you're gonna say. I'm like, wait, well, hold on. It's like, anybody who knows me knows I would never say anything like this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, and they took out all the curse words and stuff, you know. First of all, they said, what would you say? I said, well, this is what I said to my family.
Yeah.
And they said, well, this is not what you're gonna say to the public.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think I'm gonna say? You know, and so then it just seemed like some bullshit legacy media apology. And I'm like, you think I'm going to say, anyone who knows me knows that I would never talk like that.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say the same thing that I said to my family. And so it was just clear to me. I'm like, okay, as long as I make sure everything is revealed right now, this is my opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
So the path forward to me became pretty fucking clear, pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
You know, and then every day it seems like it got clearer and clearer. And every day I'm feeling a little bit better.
Did you talk to your the guy who was supplying you with the stuff that leaked the email? Have you spoken to him since? And how do you feel about him leaking your email?
You know, this is real interesting. I call him the clown coach because here's the thing. I just saw a video about him saying that everything on my apology was a lie. Yeah, he just made a video about that.
He's your coach, though. Like,
Well, this is real interesting. He tries to say he wasn't because he refunded my money and he wasn't actually my coach. This is what he said. I'm sure after this got leaked, and I'm sure after they mentioned his name, a lot of his coaching clients left and said, or concerned. So he probably tried to make a public appearance to say, oh, no, I wasn't actually his coach. I refunded his money, which is total fucking bullshit. You know?
well, is that for illegal reasons?
I don't know. And the truth is, I don't really care. You know, it's like, people are like, hey, aren't you going to sue X, Y, and Z? I'm like, for what? Well, why would I sue anybody?
Yeah.
And I want to make it really clear, this guy was never my dealer. This guy didn't supply anything. I was being monitored and I had an actual hormone clinic and a clinician that was over. And so here's the problem is like, my blood chemistries were fucked up and I actually needed help. You know, and this is why it's so important. If you're going to touch any of this shit or if you're on any shit, get managed by an actual professional because my lipids were all fucked up. My liver enzymes were high. So I sent to this guy, this coach, and I sent an email to Derek.
I saw that. Yeah.
I sent it to Derek has had this for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyways, looking for help. Hey, what do I need to do? You know, because my current clinician, I felt like, what's it going to hurt if I get some more opinions? Yeah. These guys know this shit. Let me reach out to these guys. So I enlisted his help. He helped me out for a while. But I'll tell you, he never fucking refunded my money. That's for. And listen, I'm not asking for the money back. You know, to me, it's like, okay, he did what he did. Derek did what he did. Like, now I'm in a position. Again, I'm not apologizing because I got caught. I'm apologizing because what I did was wrong. Getting caught. This is my reality. I'm facing my reality. They help me come to my reality. They're helping me express my truest self. You know, one of the other silver linings, I've alluded to this before, is, my kids, I'm sure, have thought that I'm like a larger than life figure, you know, and they get to see me drop to my fucking knees.
And that's what I want to ask you about. Going through the whole, like you have to, everything happened, you get exposed. What was the conversation with your kids like? And how did they respond?
The conversation with my kids was almost identical to the apology email, the apology video, because we sat down at the table and I looked at them and I told them that I lied to them. And man.
Were they like, why the fuck would we been eating all this liver bullshit? Give me some goddamn Skittles or something like that. This is disgusting. I'm dying. Why am I eating bone marrow? Give me a hamburger.
At the end of the conversation, they said that they're not eating liver or testicles that day. You know?
We're boycotting balls today, Dad.
But that's a conversation I had with them is I've been lying to you. And I'm on steroids. Yeah. I was on steroids. I'm on steroids. Here's why I justified it. All that was wrong, you know, and I feel horrible about doing that, you know, and probably... I regret most, like, I feel like I've let a generation down, you know, of young people and my kids, you know, to mislead them. So what I said to them is almost identical to the apology video. And, and then Liver Queen's like, you guys understand? And they're like, yeah, we understand. I said, you guys understand also that there's going to be a lot of comments to you guys about what a piece of shit your dad is. There's going to be a lot of other comments, grown men saying hurtful stuff to you guys. And, you know, I know my job as a dad. It's pretty simple. It's to affirm my kids with a depth of challenge, worth, and potential so that one day they come to believe in themselves. And so I have to also protect them along the way. I've not yet completed that job, right?
Do you regret putting them in videos and stuff before that?
Do I regret it?
Yeah.
No, I don't, because my kids have such a unique story to tell. You know, one of my kids, Rad, has been through this incredible health crisis that has been recovered because of Ancestral Living. And you know how many other kids are going to be able to learn about this because of his exposure, his ability to tell that story.
I could also see it, Jordan Peterson and his daughter went through a similar thing. I don't know, his daughter was battling a lot of, I don't know what the diseases were, but she went on a strictly meat diet. Yeah. Do you hear about this?
Yeah.
And I think Jordan even went on a strictly meat diet. Like, it's just meat and fucking water. Yeah. That's it. And he said it's really alleviated a lot of depression. Like, she had a bunch, I don't know if it was like an autoimmune disease or something like that. I think it was something to that effect. And she said that is completely, cleaned that up. So clearly there are things that you can do to augment whatever situation has been presented by your body. And while I see on the outside someone going, oh, this guy's exploiting his kids for his business, I could also see from the inside you going, someone else might have fucking kids who can't breathe, and they're gonna get to see how my kids' lives completely changed doing this ancestral living. Yeah. And I think that is the beautiful thing about vulnerability and honesty. But you can't have the vulnerability with the character. Yeah. And I wonder if moving forward, we get to see more Brian Johnson.
You know what? This is my commitment. You know, I've had enough people close to me who have said the best podcast you ever did was Diary of a CEO, because this is the one that you were the most vulnerable. Yeah. And I thought, are you serious? Like, and then I would ask 5 other people, and then most of them said the same thing, and I'm like, holy shit, you know, like I'm learning something, you know, and so it's not real easy. I'd never had any exposure in the public eye. I'd always been a very private person. I never wanted to actually do this. You know, it wasn't until I had enough conversations, people coming over to my house saying, what y'all do is fucking crazy. What you guys do, they need to make a movie about you. You need to go on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And then you hear that enough times, and I'm like, you know, like we went out to butcher a cow at Liver King Ranch, and then after taking everything out of it, we put our kid inside of the cow because they've done this in a movie. You know,
Star Wars?
Revenant, I believe, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah.
He gets inside of a horse, and so then Rad puts his head out. We all take a picture, and you're like, oh, this is what we do. We're having a good time. Everybody gets bloody. Everybody is has their hand on the animal and has the respect for the animal. Yeah. And you hear that enough times, like, okay, fuck it. You know what, like, I think you might have a point because the message, the vision of all my companies is the same. You know, it's to acknowledge how desperately people are hurting, and there's a simple solution. It's called Ancestral Living, right? And how can I do a better job at this? And let me try this social media thing. And so we started trying the social media thing, and I'm like, wow, you know, like this is working out. But not having any experience sharing all my private shit. Yeah. You know, I'm sharing everything, and I appreciate you saying that. It seems like I know how to handle myself on a podcast, you know, because this was amongst what I was terrified most to do. You know, I mean, if you look at some of my first videos, they're horrific, you know, and so this is what I'm figuring out is how to blend, you know, my truest self, you know, and to be vulnerable, you know, and this is what I say a primal is. It's your wild, raw, first version self, your undomesticated self, and when you can be vulnerable and connect, you know, like immediately, instead of telling lies and being cool and all that other shit. It's like, there's so much more that comes from that. I know this. Yeah. You know, and so it's taken this experience to say, okay, like, enough people have spoken, and this is my commitment, you know, is to share it all, especially the vulnerable pieces. Because you know what, like, not every day I wake up saying, it's prime time. I don't feel like it. I say it. And, you know, there's a lot of days I wake up and I feel like shit. And every once in a while, I've said this on my story. I'm like, I woke up today and I feel like shit. Yeah. And I'm gonna go force myself to get in the cold plunge to feel better. And then I would get DMs.
That's more motivational to me.
Yeah. Because I feel like shit.
I feel like that more than I wake up saying it's prime time or whatever you say.
Well, thank you for saying, because this is what I'm realizing. I've gotten enough feedback to just be like, you know what? Be 100% honest about how you're always feeling. And I've gotten favorable feedback about, hey, you feel like, oh, guess what? You're a fucking human too. I go through that all the time. Yeah. You know, and I've got enough DMs through this process of people that were fans, haters, and left, and now are fans again, hearing some of the story right now. Yeah. And so I think I've been really encouraged just to say, and also to want to teach my kids this too, you know, just like, be completely yourself. Be vulnerable. Let it all out. It's not always prime time. Yeah.
And to that point, the guys I know with the best relationship with their dad, it's a vulnerable relationship. They don't look at him as some perfect superhero. And if they look at you like that and then they fuck up, then they're gonna be like, look at my dad is perfect and I'm such a piece of shit. Yeah. And it actually is a detriment to them. So being vulnerable with them is the best thing you can do, I think.
Yeah, and that is really one of the silver linings in this is for them to see what I'm going through right now. You know, to be able to talk to them about that. And I do think that's going to really make our relationship closer.
Yeah. Listen, before you get out of here, I just have a couple questions that I'd love to ask you. Okay?
Let's do it.
You've eaten a lot of testicles in your day. Which are your favorite? Which animal has the most delicious testicles?
Deer.
Wow. Why do you think their balls are so savory and great?
Yeah, I'll just say it. I'll just fucking say it. You've never had such tender and creamy testicles, because these deer testicle, oh my God, you guys, it's like, because a cow testicle, you got to chew.
Yeah. You got to chew, right?
Yeah,
because those sperm are big, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
they will.
Bulls, dude. That's bull nuts.
Oh, that's right. Cows don't have testicles.
It's a bull.
Wait a minute.
Hey, yo.
Wait a minute.
Oh, fucking bull testicles. Give me a break.
Someone trick you?
But this is the deal. I mean, this is my answer. Is deer.
Is there any ancestral benefit to semen?
Yeah. I've not seen.
Dude, gay dudes are actually pretty fucking
I know a lot of
when you
really
think
strong
about it.
gay guys.
It could be the semen.
I mean, testosterone is made in your balls, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting it from the tap.
But you don't do semen.
They're just taking steroids orally, really.
Semen recycling is a really common thing.
Listen, I've never seen modern day primitive culture tribes drink semen.
Oh, really?
You know, I mean, this.
Well, it's more like a ritualistic.
Yeah, they
thing.
get it straight from the source. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Show me the video.
Actually,
You want to see the video? Hey,
Actually,
yo.
don't show me the video.
Some Nat Geo photographer, like, all right. Okay. How much HGH does Biden need to get through the next 2 years?
Oh.
How much do you think?
I got 12,000 a month. I don't.
Dollar-wise. Fuck, I don't know. Tell him to start, and I guess he can tell you.
Fair enough. How much money would you spend per month waxing your back?
Oh.
I don't shave anything. You know, I don't.
Never?
Anywhere?
I've never shaved. I don't shave my chest. I don't shave my back.
You don't landscape a little?
No, oh, fuck no.
Really?
Yeah,
You don't
really.
grow hair on your back at all, dude?
Maybe a tiny bit. I mean, I don't shave my back.
I'm checking it out. It's pretty clean. There's one little mole with a little stringer. But
yo, with
that's
all
it.
the steroids, you think you'd be way hairier. I'm not sure I believe this.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a lot of testosterone to be, you know what I mean?
Sure. You know, I mean, a lot of people have been asking too, like, what are the side effects, you know, of taking them? Like, I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
Why?
But because I saw 2 side effects that are pretty serious, and that's again why you got to get monitored, right? I saw my lipids, I saw my liver, I also saw my estrogen, you know, get a little fucked up.
Oh.
What was happening?
Well, but that's the thing. I saw it on a blood panel. I didn't feel anything, you know, from it. Like
You didn't notice like your story's getting a little bit more boring. You never
Yeah.
want to make it wrong. Maybe started watching shitty movies at night. Like, you didn't notice that at all. Like
Constantly
estrogen,
unhappy.
Yeah,
no matter what.
yeah. Fighting for no reason, refusing to apologize. You didn't notice that at all.
You remember freezing at a restaurant? That never happened.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, and you know what? Maybe I got a whole face full of fucking acne underneath the beard. I don't know. You know, but like, so the thing is, everyone's different. You know, but no, I've not seen any other issues.
Did you ever have roid rage?
I don't know.
Liver Queen just laughed. She just snitched on you, bro.
Laughing and ducked.
I mean, I would say no.
100-pound dumbbell?
You know, I've said this comment quite a bit. Like in life, you get what you demand or you get what you tolerate, and I've never had a whole lot of patience. You know, and I hold myself to the highest fucking standard, and I hold the people around me to a pretty high standard. That's never changed. You know, before, during, hopefully after, that will remain the same. So I don't believe I've ever. The thing is, I don't even drive. So you know,
You don't drive?
Well, you can get angry.
can't-
not
come on,
driving.
dude.
I know. You know what? I correlated that with road. But in terms of being like at home and doing this
Why
thing,
would he ask you about driving?
You never get angry driving?
that's on me.
No, roid rage. You know what I mean? Like something happens, you're really frustrated, you want to get angry.
No.
You know?
I don't think that's been an issue.
Never?
Well, listen, like I said, I mean, like I don't think it's increased at all.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I've never had a whole lot of patience. The whole demand and tolerate thing has always been,
Yeah.
you know, something I've had insight for.
So you're always raging.
Sure.
Exactly.
That's probably pretty accurate, actually. 'Cause that's one thing that
So
Dyer,
your
the
kids are looking
CEO.
forward to you calming down, and they're like, "No, he's just a dick all the time. It's not the steroids. It's just my dad."
That's right. That's right. That's
Any
about
more
right.
questions for the Liver King before we get out of here?
I'm actually curious. What were you doing before you were doing supplements?
Like for business?
Yeah.
Prior to that, we had a vertically integrated dental operation. So what I really mean by that is, you guys might know that my wife is a retired dentist, and
I didn't know that.
Retired, shouts to Ancestral Living.
Yeah, there you go.
and so she had every discipline of dentistry worked underneath her. So if you needed anything related to dentistry, we had the oral surgeon, the periodontist, or you name it. We had the imaging center that was there. We had a lab that was there. So it was a pretty big operation that we had going on. We did that for a long time. We
Right.
did that for, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 years. And one day she said, "I'm done." She goes, "I'm done." And she's like, this is on you. And it's the best thing that could have happened, you know, is for her to say, "This is on you now."
Yeah, I wasn't very ancestral living off your wife's money.
That's right. That's right.
Not that primal.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Oh, you're 100% right. I mean, think about it. It's not ancestral at all for her
Yeah.
to be providing. You
Yeah.
know, like what she needed to do was
This is breaking news.
was get
this
home.
is great.
and you know, caretake, compassion, make, nurture, and nourish the
You're
family.
wearing a shirt and shit, like dumb stuff.
A blouse, possibly.
It's disgusting.
So,
You name it.
so were you stay-at-home dad?
No.
So really,
You're
worse
just walking around the surgery center all buff, knocking shit over? Like, what were you doing?
Yeah, pretty much that. That's about right. I was fucking shit up pretty bad. So when we met, I was in device sales. She was a dentist. And then she came to Houston. She started doing dentistry for other offices. And she goes, I hate this. And I don't want to work for other people. I was like, okay, well, let's go do this thing. So we started this thing. We bought a practice. And we're like, oh my God, we're pretty fucking good at this. And so we built it and we grew it. And instead of referring all of these patients outside to other specialists, we brought them all inside. And so we did this for a while, and it worked out financially. We struggled also during the time because we overbought the building that we were in. But long story short, you know, like that starts to go downhill pretty fast. And so then I quit my other job to come in and to fix this. So she focused on dentistry, and I focused on the business. Fucking shit up pretty bad. You know, the building that we have, there's also a surgery center, you know, with some surgeons that were, and so talk about fucking shit up around surgery centers. They don't make them for big guys.
And your supplements were always ancestral in nature, or you said 2014? You always been doing this kind of thing?
Yeah, you know, actually, when she said, "Okay, I'm done," I said, "Okay, well, you know, what am I going to do to figure this out?" And so the first product I had is called Tooth Restore. This was my idea. Thank God it didn't come to market. It is coming to market, but the root cause of most oral issues have to do with our nourishment and mechanical loading. Right? And so most people aren't eating liver. They're not getting bone marrow. They're not getting what they need from egg yolk or the sun. And so how do we get that shit in a capsule? And as she starts talking to people about the nourishment, hey, here's what you need to be eating. Here's how you address the root cause. I don't want to see you again. Right? Here's how you address.
You're fixing them. You're fixing them so they don't need to come back to the dentist.
Well, this is what she's trying to do. And you know what patients are saying? Just fix my teeth.
Yeah. Oh.
Just fix my teeth. You think you're going to talk to me about nutrition? Just fix my teeth.
Yeah.
And then there's a small percent of patients that are like, okay, but you know what? I can't eat liver. I tried it. It's disgusting.
Balls in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
You know, actually, we had a lot. We were in a gay community, so a lot of them
all right.
did enjoy it. And so what ends up happening is like, okay, I got this idea. Let's do this. And then I realized, you know what? This is way bigger than this.
Yeah.
This is way bigger than this. We're not going to do this just targeted to the dental community. And so that kind of took off from there.
So she got you into Ancestral Living.
You know what got me into Ancestral Living is my boys couldn't breathe.
Right, it was that mostly.
And we cut out all the processed food. It's not mostly.
Mostly.
What's he laughing
Yo,
at?
you couldn't just say I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That's you can't just say my bad.
But we cut out all the processed food.
Yo, you did what your wife told you, bro. Listen, we're all married.
I was trying to give her respect.
We know that is ancestral.
It sounds like
living.
she got you
That
into
is
it.
ancestral. Your wife tells you do some shit, you do it, okay? We know what's up, liver king. That's the real liver king over there.
I'll take
Bunch
it.
of queens on couches and chairs over here doing what we're fucking told. That's why we're still goddamn alive. I love you, babe. I fucking love you. Okay? Now, this is beautiful. I'm glad you came on here. You know, I think that all too often, you see this in comedy, you see this in pretty much, every industry, people get written off for a mistake that they made. And, one of the things that I think that we like to stand on over here is that we're not part of the whole, I guess you could say cancel culture umbrella. Now, you did something where you fucked up. You admitted you fucked up. We learned more about you as a person and your motives for not only building your brand, but also like building out this flagship ancestral living ideology that you've been sharing. After learning that, I think that's really cool. I think I understand you as a man a lot more. I'm gonna call you Brian because I know you as Brian, and I think that you're a fully formed person as Brian. So that means a lot to me that you came on. Thank you for sharing your story, brother, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Best of luck with everything in the future.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Anything you want to tell the people before we leave?
Eat liver because liver is king.
Fair enough.
Yo, you're not gonna eat this fucking donut though.
Yeah, just Brian wanted one bite.
Donut.
Come on!
Go for it twice. Come on.